I think, oh, there we go. Yay, it says this hangout on air is live. All right. Well, welcome everybody. This is Astronomy Daily Live. And I think that this is a little loud. Let me turn this down a little tiny bit. There we go. All right. Well, welcome everybody. Welcome back. It's been a few days since we've actually had a live stream. I've been out in the cold and the dark for the past couple of nights, trying to get my act together in terms of this project that I'm working on. So yeah, it's kind of been an interesting ride so far. So hope everybody's doing well. Come on in. I'm gonna look at the chat. Chris is there. He is here and ready. Tom is not only in the chat, but he is also on the panel. Hey there, Tom.
Hey, Cosmic. How's it going?
Good. How's everything over there?
So far, so good.
So have you gotten a view of the comet yet, or you still got clouds, yeah?
Nothing yet. It's been cloudy and rainy the last few days, so.
Ah, depressing.
Supposed to clear up this weekend.
Good. Yeah, unfortunately, you're going to be contending with the moon being right there. So that is not going to be fun, but you'll still be able to see it. But it's going to be a little bit hard, even with binoculars. The moon brightens up the sky just a little bit, and these comets are very, very diffuse, right? Extremely diffuse, and so I can't resist anymore. Bobby, it looks like you're having a fit over there. What's going on?
It's just my dog, and he almost attacked my uncle.
Well, it shouldn't be there. So yeah. How old is Blackie?
3 years.
Oh, okay. So he's not really a puppy or anything. Not anymore. So.
Yeah, but sometimes you gotta like try to control him.
Try is the operative word. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, cool. Well, I hope everybody's doing well. Yeah. I was sitting out there in the cold last night, and it's gotten really, really, really dry here. Really dry. Still hitting the dew point in the early morning, so I'm still getting frost and all that, but it's really, really dry. So last night, when I stopped about 10:30 p.m. local time, my temperature sensor in my camera said it was negative 1.5 degrees Celsius. So I think that's about 28 or 29 or something like that. So it was pretty cold, below freezing and really, really dry. And those two conditions, luckily there wasn't any wind. I think if there was wind, I would have sort of been like, oh, this is pretty harsh. But all that sort of reminded me of the first time that I went up to work at one of the observatories. It was actually the Bart Bok telescope up on Kitt Peak. It's the 90-inch telescope. I think it's 2.3 meter, something like that. It's basically the same size as the HST. And all of my experiences with telescopes to that point was, you know, definitely, you know, you go outside, you set up, you stand out there in the cold, and do your thing, right? Well, my first experience here, I had absolutely no idea what to expect. Of course, we always have these expectations, and so you know, I don't really think I thought about it much, but I guess I sort of assumed that, you know, we'd go up there and whatever we were going to do. I was just sort of a hanger on. Um, I was just invited to go up there and see what happens, right? Uh, so you know, I really didn't know what to expect, right? And so you know, we got to the observatory and went in the dome and took the elevator up to the observing deck. These telescopes can be quite tall, and I think I don't remember exactly how tall the 90-inch dome is, but I want to say it's at least 10 stories, at least, maybe even more. I'm not exactly sure. Anyway, so you take an elevator up. They do have in that dome now. Uh, I'm not sure if it's still there, but I assume it is. They have in that dome a spiral staircase that goes all the way up, all, you know, from the ground floor up to the observing deck. And it's like, you know, and so I think I went up that once and down that once, and I decided that it was probably just a little bit better and easier to take the elevator. so get in the elevator, go up to the observing deck, and that's sort of where, you know, it's just an open floor. It's a bunch of equipment, and of course you have the telescope, right, and the dome with the slit and all that, and but then we walk into this room, and they called it the control room. And so, you know, everybody went into the control room and started taking off their jackets and getting comfortable and everything else. And I'm sort of like, you know, aren't we going to go out and, you know, run the telescope? And it's like, nope, we sit in here in the nice and warm. It was nice and cozy warm. At the time, we had a telescope operator, so a separate person, and that person's job was primarily to just point the telescope, right? The astronomer says, I want the telescope to look there, and the telescope operator pushes all the buttons and the telescope slews, and that's it, right? And so we sat in comfort in the warm, and I gotta say, and I think I've said this a couple times already, that I think the chairs at the observatories are probably the most comfortable chairs in the world. They are, they're just absolutely great, right? Absolutely great. You know, comfy and plush, and you know, you got a headrest, and you got the armrest, and it's just perfect, right? So you know, I was really surprised at that, how comfortable that all was. And so I was thinking about that last night, and it's like, where did I go wrong? But no, I've sort of, over the years, I've sort of changed my opinion about this. But I still think that you can't really call yourself an astronomer if you don't know the night sky, don't use a telescope, all that. I think that is part of it, right? I mean, it's not sort of the defining thing, but these people who call themselves an astronomers and that's all they do is model things and theorize about stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, let me check my weather too. And I see somebody new in the chat, JK. Nice to see you in the chat. Welcome. This is Astronomy Daily Live. We sit here each and every day, practically each and every day, at 2 hours UTC. And I'm trying to type in my zip code here. Look at my weather. And so, yeah, we just sit here, for about an hour or so each day and think and talk all things astronomical, science, space, sometimes some tangents, all that. But mostly it's just astronomy. This is sort of like a virtual porch, right? Where we're all gathered together with our consumables of choice and just forget about everything else and think and talk all things astronomy for a while. So cheers. I've got the HOH. Cheers.
And I got my Sprite.
I remember Sprite. All right. Well, cool. So, yeah. The last 2 nights, I was actually out with the scope and camera, trying to learn. One always thinks that one has sort of learned everything, right? Or maybe not everything, but certain things it's like, yeah, no problem, I can do that. And so coming into this, right, what I had done is I had identified a small area of the sky. I think it was like 1 square degree, maybe 2 square degrees, I forget exactly. And I, using Gaia, I found all of the 11th magnitude stars and brighter. And in this area, turns out there were 38 of them. And I'm like, no problem at all. I'll just go out. I mean, it's going to take some time, right? Because I want to take a lot of exposure. So I'm going to spend 30 minutes or so on each target, and so I can do 2 or 3 or 4 each night, and yeah, no problem at all. Bang them out. But that's 19 hours of observing. Spread it out over a couple months, a few months, whatever it takes. I don't have any kind of deadlines, right? So, I mean, I can just sort of go at my own pace. And, if I really want to bang on them and try to get them done, I can, do consecutive nights. Or, if I want to take a break, I can take a break, whatever, right? No problem at all. Well,
during your engineering stream, did you ever get my comment that I almost had to rely on this more than my other devices?
I did. I saw that. I'm glad you're working it out. That's you know, sort of the same thing I'm trying to do too, is just sort of, you know, work all this out. And what I realized that as far as I know, what I've never ever done is with this scope at least, is try to find a target without being able to see it, right? So I have to totally rely on the field of view that I have, right? And that's it. Well, I've got a very small field of view. It's 12 arc minutes wide and 9 arc minutes high. So it's this little rectangle, right? Little piece of the sky, right? I think I calculated that area is about 15% the size of the moon, right? So just a really small area. So I've got that, right? And that's sort of a hard thing to deal with, but not a huge deal, right? But the other thing that I definitely have to contend with, and I think I'm still hoping that there is something I can do about this. I just have to learn a little bit more. There's always things to learn, right? Always. So yeah, I think I just have to learn a little bit more about mechanically how this mount works, because there is backlash, there's gears, you know, there's all that kind of stuff, and you know, my knowledge of these things is relatively small, so that kind of thing I'll figure out. But at the moment, what I'm contending with is that this mount doesn't really point incredibly great. It gets usually to within like you know, quarter of a degree or half a degree or so of my target, but that could be anywhere, right? Anywhere at all. So yeah, I'm having to learn how to find things without being able to see them, and that is sort of a combination of you know, trying to look at stars in that very small field of view and compare any kind of star pattern I see on there to a star pattern on charts, right? On star charts that that I can make from Gaia, right? And so, you know, there are some complications there too, because you know, things aren't aligned and all of that. So trying to you know, look at my computer screen, you know, that's showing my camera's field of view, and seeing, you know, a little pattern of stars on there, and then trying to figure out where it is on my chart, right? Because as soon as I know where I'm pointing on the chart, of course I know my target, and so once I know on my chart where I'm pointing, I should be able to move to my target, right? So that had pretty mixed results last night. If I was able to identify a target or a pattern, it usually took me, you know, 2 or 3 minutes or so to go to my target. Bang, you know, done. And that's what I want, right? I need a little bit of speed here, right? But if I wasn't able to find any kind of pattern, then it was just like, but these are, sort of learning curve sessions where I'm trying to learn, what does a, 12th magnitude star look like from my camera, and what does a 12th magnitude star look like on my chart, and compare them that way. So definitely a worthwhile effort. It was, those kinds of things. Um, the adrenaline and the energy level is very, very high, right? Because I'm just like I'm on, right? It's like go. Not trying to hurry or anything, but trying to get this job done, right? And so yeah, some of the targets were extremely easy to find because I was able to find these patterns, and some of the targets, one target, and this is a lesson learned too. I spent about an hour trying to find one, and that is no good. That's absolutely no good at all. So part of what I'm doing also is sort of coming up with a procedure, right? So I think part of the procedure is going to be, give it a good 5 minutes, right? If you can't find it, do what you do in the SAT, right? The Scholastic Aptitude Test. Move on, right? Skip that one, move on. Come back to it, right? So that's probably what I'm going to do in that case. So yeah, it's kind of interesting, and like I said, it's something that I really haven't done much, and I've never done with this scope. So it is definitely a challenge, but I think I'm learning pretty quick. I you know except for the last one. It was the last one I tried that I just tried and tried and tried and tried and tried. Never got it. I spent, like I said, I think I spent about an hour or so trying, just trying to find some kind of pattern, right? Anything, right? Any kind of pattern that is sort of a recognizable thing on the chart, but no good at all. So yeah, by then it was late. I was cold. This hand, and this I haven't experienced in quite a long time. This hand just stopped working. It just stopped. I couldn't move it at all. Well, barely, right? Just barely, because it was just cold. So I'm gonna have to find some of those, sort of skin tight gloves. I can't really wear the big gloves because I got to be able to push buttons, pretty small buttons. In fact, you can probably see them there, right? Those buttons are right there. So, they're pretty small.
We got Rocket Sage on our chat.
Hey there, Sage Rocket. Nice to see ya. Welcome. Come on in. We're talking astronomy here. So cool. Cheers. So, but I had all the layers on, and I had the hat on. I think you saw that, right? The pointy head and everything. Yeah, but it was cold and dry, and by the time I was done, man, it's like I am going in, and that's it. screw it, right? Yeah, nice to see you there, Sage.
Yeah, welcome, welcome.
So yeah, this is sort of just a ongoing thing. I think I guess what I'm going to probably do, right? I have to wait for the moon to sort of move out of the way. So I've got another. It's almost first quarter moon now, so I've got another maybe 10 days or so before I get any kind of really dark sky. And then, of course, I have to wait for the clouds to clear. But luckily, I am located in a region of the planet where the sky does get pretty clear much of the time. So hopefully in 10 days to 2 weeks, I can actually start doing some science data. Now, in the meantime, with the moon out, I can still do these these engineering runs and practice and practice and practice. And so yeah, I will probably definitely take advantage of the opportunity if I've got some clear skies, like over the next week or two. But we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I think I'm, I was able to find most of the targets I was going for last night. And again, I didn't have any kind of goal. I was just sort of observing, what I was doing, and I'm pretty satisfied with what I was doing last night. So, I'd be happy, to get 2 or 3 targets every night. That'll be just fine. So I think that's what I'm going to aim for. And last night, I think I found, over the course of those hours, 3-ish hours, I think I found about 8 or 9 targets or so. I've got a target list of 38 stars. So, that is going to take a while. But yeah, if I can identify 2 or 3 or 4 each session, I am gold. And I think I can definitely do that. And like I said, when I could see a pattern, it was like bang. I was right there in, a couple minutes. So yeah, I think that is going to work out pretty well. And we'll see. Now, this is part of a larger project that I'm not going to get into now, but suffice it to say that over the next probably couple of months or so, this is what I'm going to be doing with this scope, is just looking at this target field, which right now is basically rising when the sun sets. So by the time it gets dark, it's pretty high up in the sky, and then I've got all night long to look at it, right? And of course, I chose that location on purpose. So cool. All right. Let's see.
Just got to say, admire your patience and determination in this effort. I think if I was out there and my hands stopped working, I would probably be done at that point. So kudos.
At that point, yes. And at that point, I was. It's like, I can't write any more notes. I think I better stop. So, yeah,
Sage just twitched about a couple of times and stuff. I'm actually a master putting real one on there.
Cool. Yeah, Rocket Sage, I think I've gone onto your Twitch a couple of times, but I have to admit, that I am definitely not a regular. You know, there is
I don't think I'm
only.
a regular on Twitch as well. I haven't even been on Twitch lately.
Yeah, you know, I've been pretty busy with everything else. I think that's pretty typical actually for live streamers. Is that they really don't have a lot of time or spend a lot of time, you know, going to other live streams. Yeah, I think I'm beginning, you know, to fall into that a little bit. Uh, but you know, when I can, I definitely will. So cheers. So Uncle Bill over on the Discord posted a really interesting link about this, and I want to get the terminology right. The This research notes of the AAS, the American Astronomical Society, and yeah, you know, it's kind of an interesting thing. So I guess what's recently happened is archive.org, which has sort of become the repository for not only much of the astronomical papers that are published, but so many others, right? In math and stats and all kinds of physics. I forget all the others. You know, just a lot of stuff, right? And so I guess what they have started to do, and I don't know how rampant this is. If everybody, um, if anybody knows more about this, let me know. But it sort of sounds like Archive is not going to be making available these articles from the and I always forget the term, research notes of the American Astronomical Society. They're calling them not substantial, right? Because they're not peer reviewed. You know, you know, they can sort of be anything, right? At least that's sort of the attitude. I don't necessarily think that that's true. But yeah, it's kind of an interesting dilemma, because we want to be able to, you know, put this information out in sort of a timely manner. But if archive.org is going to deny all of that, then it's not going to be made available. So yeah, kind of interesting. I was sort of looking at the research notes of the of these guys, and you know, they're publishing their list of papers every month, which seems to me to be kind of slow, right? I mean, I would think that if you want to share information, you would want that information to go out frequently. And I really don't know if once a month is all that fast. So yeah, I guess we're going to have to research this a little bit more. RNAAS, yeah. Thank you, Uncle Bill. So what I did is and I guess I'll share my screen at this point.
Well, I just thought it sounded like they were being a bit inconsistent in their acceptance or rejection of papers. I don't know too much about it, but it seems somewhat arbitrary.
Yeah, you know, my sense is that you know, they're evolving, right? They are changing because there's this new thing. Okay, the RNAAS is new. It started, as you can see here, just a little over 1 year ago. And so this is a new publication, but it's coming from, you know, a well-known group, right? The American Astronomical Society is, I don't know if you would call it the Astronomical Society, but you know, it's a pretty major major group, right? And so, but they do say, right, that you know, these are going to be short submissions that aren't suitable for publication, right, in sort of the normal way, but they're going to be, you know, interesting and useful, right? So, you know, they want brief summaries, right? Work in progress, clarifications, results of no results, reports of observations, you know, but really, really short, right? I think they don't want any more than 1,000 words and one picture, right? No abstract. I think even the list of references, I think, are part of the word count, if I remember right. Maybe not. Easy enough to find out. So, you know, these are supposed to be sort of, you know, just quick, short things saying, you know, this is what we're doing, this is what we found, this is what's happening, you know, really, really short. And what came to my mind, right, was the IAU circulars, which, as far as I know, are sort of still going on. And those are even shorter, right? Because that's more like an alert thing. But again, you know, the IAU circulars were actually reports of observations. You know, a lot of what they're talking about here, just not in so many words, right? The circulars were just basically a presentation of data. In fact, my photometry on supernova 1991T was published in one of those circulars. So yeah, you know, it's a great way to get that kind of information out fast and concisely. And so my initial thought was that, okay, you know, that's what they're going to be doing here, right? I mean, as soon as they get a paper, they'll publish it. And you know, I'm thinking about it now, and I think that's what they're actually doing, because if you go to the where is it? Did I do it here? Yeah. See, so they have all their volumes and everything else, but they also have this issue in progress, which I sort of interpret as they're adding articles to this as they come in.
So why did archive.org just threw them out?
Well, I guess the argument there is that because these aren't being peer reviewed, and you know, they may not have any, you know, kind of substantive information, then archive.org really, I don't think they know what to do with them yet. And I'm thinking, that this is sort of like a new category, right? Here, let me turn my music back. There we go. All right.
I didn't realize that RNAAS was such a young thing. I watched that YouTube video of the guy who was talking about it, but he didn't mention that it'd only been around for a year or so. So maybe it makes sense that ArchiveX is just trying to figure them out.
That's my sense, is that, this is a new thing, at least for the astronomical community. And so, yeah, I think that the archive.org folks are just trying to figure out what this is all about. And, I think it's great, right? I think it's absolutely fantastic. In fact, one of the papers I saw was actually this one, right? These guys, and maybe gal, I'm not sure, whole bunch of people here. Yeah, two Amandas, couple of Marks. All right, cool. Anyway, they observe an occultation of Ultima Thule, right? The trans-Neptunian object that New Horizons is going to pass by in just a couple of weeks. And they observe an occultation of a star by this object, back in 2017. And they think that they have, here, let's, can we zoom in? Ooh, we can. Oh, wow. That's kind of neat. Zoom out. Reset image size. I see. Okay. So they're thinking that they are seeing possibly some kind of ring of debris going around this object. Kind of interesting, right? But and they report their observations, and that's it, right? So what does archive.org do with this, right? I don't know. But yeah, I think they'll work it out. I think there's a lot of value in this kind of thing. And it definitely should be explored a little bit more, for sure. I think it's a great idea. So we'll see how all that goes. It's like I said, I think this is sort of growing pains for the archive.org folks. They have a massive amount of work, right? I mean, they're trying to keep track of hundreds and hundreds of papers every single day, and that is not a small task. And archive.org has become a very, very, very valuable resource that it's free, right? It's completely free, but it's incredibly valuable, because that's how most of us, definitely me, sort of keep up with all the work, right? And if I'm not interested in keeping up with sort of the bleeding edge stuff, right? Archive.org is an archive of papers that go back, I guess, to 1991 or so. So yeah, it's a great resource, to find things. And if we didn't have that, we'd be doing what we used to do, and that is go to the library, right? pull out the Astrophysical Journal from that month, look through all the things. So you know, but to have it electronically and you know, pretty much immediately available, that's really, really valuable stuff. So yeah, you know, I totally agree with that fellow on the YouTube channel that you know, the archive folks are doing awesome work. Don't stop, right? Keep going, and this is sort of the astronomer's way of saying, look, why don't you get this in there too? Because we think, you know, that this kind of publishing, where it's really, really short, it's not a formal paper, right? Which, you know, the formal ones can ramble on, you know, but for a purpose, right? You know, they're trying to give a context, they're trying to explain things, um, and so, you know, all that is really, really important. But if you have an observation, or you have some kind of result, or you have some kind of thought, right, that might have a little bit of value, it'd be really, really cool, you know, to be able to shoot that to the RNAAS folks, and, you know, have it published, and then that gets put onto archive, where it's seen by everyone, right? I mean, he's exactly right. I think these days your stuff on archive.org, your work is probably not being seen at all. The one thing that I didn't see anywhere is, you know, how do researchers like myself, who aren't necessarily, you know, don't have any kind of affiliation, don't have any paperwork at all, is the RNAAS, are they going to publish things that I submit? I don't know, but we're going to find out. Because yeah, I'm definitely going to do that, and so yeah, you know, we'll see how that goes. So yeah, it's just kind of an interesting thing, and I think they will work it out, because, like I said, you know, I sort of see RNAS as sort of a enhanced IAU circular, where, you know, you want to report the results of your work, and give a little bit of an explanation and a plot or a graph or an image or something like that. I think it's great. I think it's absolutely great. And for sure, I'm going to check this thing every single day, because I think they update these papers in sort of an ongoing thing. I'm going to look at the, and here I'll share my screen again really quick. So any other thoughts on that, Tom or Bobby? Any, what do you think about all this? Anything else on that?
Not really. I really wasn't aware of RNAS until I saw that video, so I didn't know what they were doing. I hope they can work it out, because it seems like, from what the video said, a lot of people are using the archive to get at those documents and read that stuff. So
yeah.
Well, what I do to think about the RNAS and stuff like that is they really go like right into the depth and stuff. When I was reading the summary and stuff, and but that still doesn't mean why they got thrown out by the archive.org.
Well, like I said, I don't think that archive.org knows quite what to do with these things yet. But But the fact that they're coming from the American Astronomical Society, and as opposed to some random organization. The American Astronomical Society is a well-established, well-known. It has a reputation. All of that. So that's a very reputable group. So the fact that the archive is sort of saying, no, we're not going to publish things that are coming from the American Astronomical Society. Yeah, that's a little funky. But these aren't, technically publishable papers. And that's exactly what the RNAAS group says, right? Is that these aren't publishable. But check it out. This paper was just published today. So yeah, this is very, very new, kind of cool too. Radar observations of Ceres. So that's kind of cool too. But yeah, really, really short and sweet. Got some plots here, kind of a description, and that's it, right? Some references, and that's it. I think it's great. I think it's awesome. So yeah, we'll sort of see how all this goes, and I'm hoping that they are going to be able to put these onto archive, because I'm looking at this now. I'm absolutely no expert or anything, but I look at this, I read this, and I'm seeing some thoughtful words, just reporting observations, explaining what they did, what some of the results are. I think it's great. And I don't see anything unsubstantial here at all. It's just letting everybody know, what's going on in sort of a very, very timely and concise way. And so I like it, regardless of whether this goes to archive or not. I'm going to hit this site every single day. I'm kind of curious to see if they publish on the weekends. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. So yeah, just an ongoing thing. So yeah, I like it, and thanks to Uncle Bill for showing us this, because yeah, I was completely unaware, as I am with most things. I don't know all that much. I count on everybody else to let me know these kinds of things. But yeah, I think this is great. I think it's great. So yeah, I will definitely be looking at this as often as I possibly can, because this is definitely bleeding edge, right? And yeah, I'm definitely interested in publishing with these guys.
Uncle Bill, during the point is that archive has been setting material not suitable for publication in the past from other sources. The question is if they will strive for consistency in the future.
I gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Well, if they are accepting publications inconsistently, then that needs to be corrected, and this hopefully will be part of that kind of a correction. I don't know anything about this, but my guess is, right, is that this is
so you can actually say that RNAAS has always been like up to the minute with a lot of stuff, right?
I think it's pretty up to the minute kind of thing, right? Uh, here's a little bit more about it, right? So they want 1,000 words or fewer, right? A single picture of a table, and yeah, it is including references, right? Um, but yeah, the submissions are published within 3 days. So that's not too bad. Not too bad at all. So yeah, I think it's great.
Did you
I think it's absolutely
Uncle
great.
Bill's comment about thesis defense presentation slideshows and archive? It's just a sort of day before you post the publication.
Well, Uncle Bill, I have definitely seen dissertations. I don't know if I've ever seen any kind of presentation or slideshows. So, and I mean, this sort of pulls into question. It's like, what should be published and what shouldn't. Should everything
I
be?
guess it's like the archivist that's reinforcing the rules and stuff.
Well, rules are meant to be changed, bent, and broken. So yeah, I think overall, this is just sort of a sort of a growing thing. That archive has become sort of the repository, right? It's sort of the go-to place. So that isn't, I don't think, going to be going away anytime soon, nor should it, right? But let's try to incorporate these other means of sort of disseminating information, I think this will be pretty easy, and maybe archive.org is going to have to hire a couple more staff, right? Or maybe the RNAAS is going to have to hire one or two more folks. Now that's expensive, right? You got to pay somebody probably a full-time
they're trying
thing.
to redefine what actually is a paper and what is not a paper.
That is where all the discernment comes from. And if you have some kind of a formula, right, some kind of a process where you sort of feed the paper in, and it goes through this grinding thing, and at the end there's either a yes or a no, right? It doesn't have to be a subjective thing. I don't think so, but it's probably going to take either some human kind of intelligence, or maybe some artificial intelligence. Who knows? Maybe this is a useful thing for an AI, right? It might be the first useful thing they ever use one for, right? Is to determine whether a scientific paper is publishable or not. That would be an interesting AI problem. So who knows? Who knows? Well, all right. I after two nights of staying up late and cold, I've about had it. So I think I'm looking at the time now, and we've just passed the hour mark.
W.
What's that?
Are you still getting the SNOW?
No, no. I think we have ducked that problem for right now. We still have a few months though, so yeah, you know, we're not definitely not out of the woods there yet. But I think we have definitely ducked this first one. So yeah, luckily no SNOW yet. So all right, everybody, I think I'm going to go and crash and burn. Lots of photons have, you know, been smashing into these eyeballs, and it's just worn me out. So yeah, I think I'm going to get out of here for now. So thanks everybody for coming in again. Let's do this again. I will be here again tomorrow at 2 hours UTC, and we'll do some more astronomy. We've got to get back on to Corvus.
Right. Tomorrow, Cosmic, I probably won't be here because I got a Christmas party at the church.
Okay, well that sounds like fun. So well, you'll be missed, but that's one of the cool things about this daily thing, is that you can miss a day, you can miss, you know, 2 days, you can miss a week, you can miss a month. You come back, here we are. So you know, and that's how astronomy is too, right? You know, the stars in the sky, at least in you know, short lifetimes, they're always in the same place. They're always there. So that's exactly how this live stream is going to be as well. So yeah, well, Bobby, you have a good time, and we will see you when we see you. And likewise for the rest of you too. I think I'm going to get out of here for now. So take care. Have a great evening, a great day. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the thumbs up, thumbs down. Make some comments. More than anything else, just sort of spread the word about this, right? This is just a fun, casual get-together. There's no formalities here. We just sort of go, you know, wherever we go. We try to stick into astronomy, right? But you know, tangents are allowed as well. So who knows? So all right, well, tomorrow I think we will definitely get back onto the constellation of the day that we picked last time. It was the constellation Corvus. And I think we only looked at like one thing in there so far. So yeah, there's, you know, this is a small constellation. So you know, there's not going to be a whole heck of a lot, but there's, you know, there's always something really cool, really interesting. At least one, at least. And so yeah, I think Corvus is not going to disappoint us at all. So yeah, let's try to get back on that tomorrow and see what we can see in the constellation of Corvus. All right, everybody, I'm going to get out of here. Take care. Cheers, peace, and all that. I will see you later. Bye.